Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? My name is Meg, and I'm from Beyond Mystic. And welcome to your weekly Beyond Astro forecast here on the Beyond Mystic YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today on the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. Holy guacamole! Happy full moon eclipse in Libra, everybody. We're going to talk about it a bit today in this weekly forecast. I hope you're all doing very well out there. Let me know in the comments how you're doing, whether you're watching in the live chat or in the replay, how you're doing with these very powerful energies on one of the biggest deal things we can have happen in astrology, eclipses, which we're having one exact today. So yeah, we are in an eclipse portal right now. We're going to talk all about it. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that joined Janine and I last night for our spring equinox natural new year meditation over at the Beyond Mystic Academy. Even if you weren't able to watch live, the replay is still available, so you can still check that out. And also, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube as well as Rumble channels. And I do offer personal astrological consultations that are available at consultations.beyondmystic.net. We've got the link in the description box of this video. And as always, we've got a promo code Beyond Mystic, all in one word, that you can use to get 10% off your next personal reading with me if you would like to have one. So hello to everybody. I'm seeing some of your comments in the live chat already showing up. Rachel S. says, it's been a yo-yo. Yeah, I've been hearing that from a lot of people, also feeling the same thing, Rachel. Paulina says, hello from Finland. Wow, the energy is just crazy. Yeah, makes sense that it's crazy, for sure. And political viewer, I think the energy is high today as well as the last week. Well, it's definitely high as we are in an eclipse season. We've also got geomagnetic storms. Am I saying the right words, you guys? Geomagnetic storms. We got that going on too, which we're going to talk about as well. But of course, the big daddy thing that is going on this week is the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. So I'm going to talk about that. But before we get into the eclipse, the geomagnetic storms that are going on, I want to mention something very important, which is that this week, the last week of March, is our last week of all planets moving direct. Okay, I just made this slide today of our planetary retrogrades that we are going to be having in 2024. So for anyone who likes to keep track of the retrogrades, what's going on with that, this is a little slide that I've made for all of us. So from April 1st to April 25th, we're going to have a Mercury retrograde in Aries. So that's going to start next week. I'll talk in the next Beyond Astro weekly forecast what that's going to mean for each of the 12 signs for all of us more in depth. So we're going to have 3 Mercury retrogrades this year, one from April 1st to April 25th, then another one from August 5th to August 28th, and then the last one from November 26th to December 15th. We're going to have Pluto going retrograde in Aquarius and going back into Capricorn for the very last time from May 2nd to October 12th. And actually, after Pluto moves direct on October 12th, Pluto will re-enter Aquarius again on November 18th. So from November 18th onwards, we are in full-blown Pluto and Aquarius transit for the whole next 20 years. So it's important to remember that we've got one last period of Pluto in Capricorn from, it's going to be from September 1st to November 17th. So throughout the whole rest of the year, as you can see, you guys, we're going to have planets retrograde. So this last week of March and the last week of April will be the last 2 times this year where we will have all planets moving direct. okay? Which when we have all planets moving direct, it's a really good time to be getting things done that we need to, moving ahead with projects, you know, whatever it is that we need to be focusing our energy on. Things move faster and more efficiently. So just being aware, if there's anything important that you need to get organized or together, now is a good week to do it, even though we're in an eclipse season, and also the last week of April as well. So those are our planetary retrogrades that we've got coming up for 2024. And today specifically, as I'm filming this Beyond Astro weekly forecast, of course, we are having full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, which some of you know and actually took part in the 2024 spring eclipse season workshop that I did over at the Beyond Mystic Academy, where I did a whole 5-hour-long workshop on this eclipse season, what it means for the collective, why it has an influence for the whole next year, and in depth what it means for each of the 12 signs. So if you want to hear a really in-depth explanation on these eclipse seasons, you can go check out my eclipse workshop, which, by the way, you guys, right now at the moment, we have 50% off all courses and workshops on the Beyond Mystic Academy. And that's going to be valid until March 31st. And you can use the code SPRING50 to get a discount on any of the workshops, courses, and also 50% off on the Insider Access Pass to Beyond Mystic. So my eclipse workshop that I just did will be included in that as well. But I'm going to talk about it a little bit today. So, you know, eclipses are the biggest events that we have happen in astrology, and they represent major endings and new beginnings, doors closing and new ones opening. And they're very much about fate, destiny, purpose, and bringing us into alignment. So eclipse seasons, and we are now in the eclipse portal between the March 25th eclipse and the April 8th Great North American eclipse, new moon eclipse in Aries. We are now in an eclipse portal. The veils are very thin right now, spiritually and energetically, between the worlds, between the mundane and the spiritual energetic world. So this is where, when we have eclipse seasons, we can have faded happenings. We can have increased signs and synchronicities and vivid dreams. And I'm seeing some of you guys in the chat, like Stephanie is saying, didn't sleep a wink last night, but this past week has been a total doozy. I'm feeling a full moon identity coming through. Yeah, so we can be feeling really like up, downs, even chaotic kind of energy, of one moment feeling really energetic, one moment feeling really tired, because we are being upgraded in eclipse seasons. So it's very much a time to be open to surrendering. Okay, we don't want to be forcing anything. We don't want to be starting something totally new that we just came up with during the eclipse season. We want to be surrendering to what is and paying attention to what is coming up around us, because it's times of faded changes, clarity. The veils are very, very thin. And today is a full moon lunar eclipse. Full moons, as we know, are about cleansing and release, letting go, and illumination. Okay. And eclipses are said to be like full moons and new moons times 10. So it is a major release portal that we are going through in the areas of life that Libra rules, because the full moon eclipse just happened in Libra at 5 degrees. Libra rules our committed relationships and our commitments, our aesthetic and our style. And very much like the enjoyments of life, Libra is one of the 2 Venus-ruled signs in astrology, one of the lighter signs in astrology, but Libra rules others, right? So very important to pay attention to the relationships in your life, in particular in love or business or with clients, and paying attention to if there's any red flags with us having Venus conjunct Saturn, you know, Venus, the dispositor of this eclipse, Conjunct Granddaddy Saturn, the ruler of reality checks, there's some things we need to come to terms with about people around us that are not in alignment, if that is the case in our life, which I think for most of us, actually, Janine and I were talking about this last night in the meditation that we hosted. And it's not a negative kind of thing to say. With the South Node in Libra and now a South Node eclipse in Libra, we are all going through releasing karmic relationships and commitments that no longer serve us. And I'm actually feeling something I've never felt before, just intuitively coming through, which is one of these relationships for all of us is the old world that has been, the old power system that has been, and what we have given away to that power system. Libra very much has to do with rules and diplomacy and others. Where have we given our power away to others? And on April 8th, we're going to have the new moon total solar eclipse in Aries, exactly conjunct Chiron. So that one I think is going to be a more of an intense energy. I'm going to be honest with you guys, the eclipse on April 8th, because Aries is a fire sign. It's the first sign in astrology. And it's a totally new beginning in our foundations and our empowerment and our bravery, our divine masculine and inner warriorship. So today and over this week, we're in the energy of this full moon lunar eclipse, though, where we're letting go of a lot of karma. And why I keep saying karma is because the South Node in astrology is very much about karma, what we're currently releasing in the collective. And it is in Libra at a critical degree, 10th degree of 15 degrees. So some of these things that may be coming up for us around certain committed relationships or commitments that we've had can be uncomfortable. It's at a critical degree and can also be dramatic blow-ups, even with the eclipse being at 5 degrees of Libra, which is a Leo degree. And the 5 degrees in Nicholas Stojanovic's degree theory is known as the erotic degree. So there can be a lot about passions, eroticism, sexuality, certain things in that department of life that doesn't serve us coming up for the collective as well. And I talked about in the eclipse workshop that I did, the deep dive that I did in that I think we're going to have some huge sex scandals over the course of the next 6 months. We're going to have some huge things revealed about the political leaders. 5 degree Leo degree also rules the political leaders that have been in, power positions, the truth about where they are at in their commitments, and sex scandals will be a really, really big theme. So just saying, with that 5 degree erotic degree, this can also be where for us in our personal lives as well, we can be feeling more sexual or tantric or wanting to move the energy, process it through that way as well. So just saying, you guys. And I really like in this eclipse chart that we have the malefics, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, in pretty good aspects. None of them are in super tense aspects. So that's very nice to see. We got Venus, the dispositor, as I said, conjunct Granddaddy Saturn, and in a sextile, the most positive aspect in astrology, to Jupiter, the ruler of luck, abundance, expansion, our beliefs, and spiritual growth. So there's also a blessed release of beliefs and spirituality, religious ties that don't serve us, that we are letting go. I think, and eclipses are really chaotic, and I know this may sound weird for me to say, but I think a lot that's going to come up for us is going to be kind of effortless today and into this week. It's not like we have to try hard to heal something. With these really nice aspects going on, Jupiter conjunct Uranus, Pluto and trine to the moon, Venus sextile Jupiter, we're being supported in release, which it's not easy to release, but it could be a lot more intense of a chart. So let me know how you guys are feeling about that, what I've shared. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through, do a quick little reading for each of the 12 signs for this full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. Okay. And I'm actually going to get rid of the chart here and bring something else up. Just one second, you guys. So yeah, I'm just going to do a quick little go through of each of the sun, moon, rising signs, and how this eclipse is going to be affecting you, not just at this eclipse day, but for the whole actual next 6-month period, because full moon lunar eclipses have an effect for the whole next 6 months. Okay. So for all my Aries, sun, moon, and risings out there, this full moon lunar eclipse in Libra is happening in your 7th house, okay? And the 7th house in astrology is the areas of life that Libra rules, our commitments and committed relationships. And this eclipse is in Libra. So very much so for the Aries, sun, moon, and risings, there are relationships that are being released over this eclipse season and next 6-month period that are karmic in nature, that may even be toxic in nature. And it can be kind of surprising and shocking what's even coming up. Okay, so Aries, it's important for you to be in alignment with this eclipse season and the effect of this eclipse for the whole next 6 months, to be watching your relationships, what you're committed to, and there can be major releasing that is going on in that area. Okay, Aries? For the Taurus, sun, moon, and risings, this full moon eclipse is happening in your 6th house. So this is me. I'm a Taurus rising. Shout out to all my Taurus, sun, moon, and risings. And for us, we have this full moon lunar eclipse happening in our 6th house. And the 6th house rules day-to-day work, our health, and our routines. So Tauruses, our physical health and routines are going through a release process this eclipse season and over the whole next 6 months. This is an amazing transit to be doing a cleanse, Tauruses, okay, on the physical level. But this eclipse is happening in Libra. The 6th house has to do with being of service to others in our day-to-day work. So for Tauruses, there could be in particular work relationships, business partnerships that are coming to a completion point now and over the whole next 6-month period. Okay. And for the Gemini, sun, moon, and risings, this full moon eclipse is happening in your 5th house. And the 5th house, I call it the fun house because the 5th house in astrology is the Leo ruled areas of life. Leo is the sign that rules fun and playfulness and our inner child and creativity and showcasing our gifts and talents out to the world. So Geminis, those can be very big themes for you now and over the course of the next 6 months. And the 5th house in particular rules our inner child, children, and teenagers in our life. So if there's been any tensions with, kids or teenagers in your life, or any tensions around your inner child, things that happen to you at an early age, you can be going through a karmic cleansing and release process in those areas. And you can also, Geminis, be feeling really inspired to be in your confidence and share your gifts and talents out into the world. Over the next 6 months, you guys are very much in the spotlight. And for the Cancer, sun, moon, and risings, this full moon eclipse is happening in your 4th house. Now, the 4th house is the Cancer ruled areas of life. So Cancer, sun, moon, and risings, you're having this eclipse happen in the house that you rule in astrology. And for actually Cancers and Leos, sun, moon, and risings, you guys are the most affected by eclipses because your planetary rulers are the moon and the sun, which are always involved in the eclipses. So Cancers and Leos can really feel it during eclipse seasons usually. And for you Cancers, this is one of the more intense houses, okay, to be having an eclipse fall in, because Cancer 4th house is a water ruled house. It's about our emotions, our emotional well-being, our family, our ancestors, property and land as well. So for you Cancers, there can be karmic major releases happening with family members, ancestrally can be coming up for you as well, or around the country of origin that you come from. You can feel Cancers even more so to spend time at home over the next 6-month period as the 4th house rules home. So hope that resonates with you guys. And for the Leo sun, moon, and risings, this full moon eclipse is happening in your third house. And the third house in astrology is the Gemini ruled areas of life. So this has to do with sibling relationship, friend relationships, cousin relationships. The third house is very much about relationships. It's an air house, and also the relationships in your local community. So Leos, you can be going through karmic cleansing and release cycles in those areas of life. You can be feeling very inspired over the next 6-month period to be learning something new. You could be finishing a course, study that you've been going through, can be coming to a completion point. Very important for you to be watching sibling, friend, cousin, and local community dynamics and being honest with yourself about those areas for sure. What's maybe not in alignment or toxic, paying attention to that. Okay, and for the Virgo sun, moon, and risings, this full moon lunar eclipse is happening in your second house. And the second house is the Taurus ruled areas of life. The second house is about our physical possessions, income, abundance, our values, also our day-to-day routines, similar to the sixth house. So for you Virgos, there can be Virgo sun, moon, and risings, income streams that are coming to a completion point for you during this eclipse season and for the whole next 6-month period. There's new ways that you're going to start making money actually over the next 6-month period. And the second house is our values, very much about our self-worth and self-confidence. So Virgos, it's important to pay attention to what are your values and why. Are those values that were programmed into you from somewhere? Are those values that actually come from your own heart space? And, you know, whatever our values are, we are attracting those experiences to us. So I hope that makes sense. Virgo, you're releasing income streams, you're releasing values that no longer serve you and making space for new ones. Okay. And for my Libras, I actually should have said for the Aries as well. For Aries and Libras, you guys are like the stars of the show during this eclipse season because we have the eclipses happening in Aries and Libra. So for Libras, you guys can really be feeling it, sun, moon, and risings, because it's a full moon lunar eclipse in your sign. So Libra, let me know in the live chat, in the comments below, how it is that you guys are feeling. If you are feeling like you're kind of going crazy a little bit or more emotional than usual, I'm not wishing that upon you guys, just saying totally normal because we're having a very intense eclipse today in your sign. Libras, this eclipse is happening in your first house. The first house is the Aries ruled areas of life, and it represents self and our foundations and how we are seen. So Libras, you're going through a release process of how you present yourself. The first house very much has to do with our physical appearance, how you want to present, how you want to identify your foundations, and also your boundaries, okay? Which I know for you Libras, and I love you Libras so much, okay? But one of the issues for Libras usually can be boundaries in life. So if you are feeling drained, it is important to look at where you may be having some energetic openings in your aura. Where can you maybe work on your boundaries better to be as strong as in self as possible? This will be a theme now and over the whole next 6-month period. And Libra and Aries, with these eclipses happening in your signs, there's likely to be very big life changes and up-leveling happening for you over the course of the whole next year, actually. Okay, and now for Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Scorpios, this eclipse is happening in our 12th house. And the 12th house, similar to what I said for the Cancers, with them having the eclipse in the 4th house, the 12th house is one of the more intense houses to be having eclipses happen in. This is because the 12th house rules with healing, introspection, deep-seated karmic issues, past lives, okay? The 12th house also rules illusions and dreams and not seeing things clearly. So Scorpios, Very important to be honest with yourself about any subconscious patterns that may be coming up to the surface for you, for yourself personally, but also in regards to the people that you have around you. Remember that this eclipse is happening in Libra. It's very much about others, okay? The new moon solar eclipse is going to be about Aries self on April 8th. So Scorpios, this is really deep-seated issues, wounds, karma coming up to the surface at this time to be healed and released. So this is a major purging for the Cancers because they're having it in their 4th house, the Scorpio because they're having it in their 12th house, and also the Pisces, as I'm going to get to, because you guys are having it in your 8th house. So be gentle with yourself, Scorpios. Make time for rest, alone time, proper sleep, and really pay attention and be honest to what is coming up for you. And if you need to ask for help, okay? Because this can be very emotionally intense, the things that may be coming up for you at this time for release. And for the Sagittarius sun, moon, and risings, this full moon eclipse is happening in your 11th house. Okay, so this is one of the lighter houses to be having a full moon eclipse happen again. So again, you Saggies are lucky. There always seems to be lucky things happening. But the 11th house has to do with friendships and group associations, the future, the age of Aquarius, technology, and our goals. So for you Sagittarians, rather, there can be a major release happening with a friend or multiple friends or a group that you've been associated with that no longer resonates. There can also be a letting go process in certain goals or aspirations that no longer serve you, and you can be creating new goals for the future and for the age of Aquarius. So hope that resonates, Saggies. And now for the Capricorns, this full moon eclipse is happening in your 10th house, which is the Capricorn ruled areas of life. Okay, so Capricorns, you rule the 10th house. This is about career and reputation and how we're seen publicly and success and achievement. So for Capricorns, a lot of you may be ending a job, ending a career that no longer serves you or resonates with you at this time. Some of you may be retiring, okay? I feel like a lot of you guys will be stepping into entrepreneurship over the course of the next year. And also the 10th house can rule our parental figures, our authority figures. So there could be something really pertinent happening for you Capricorns with a mother or a father or kind of like an elder in your life where you need to be really there for them at this time. But the focus for you is definitely around work, career, how you're publicly being seen, and a transformation in that area of life. And 2 more signs for the Aquarians. This full moon eclipse is happening in your 9th house. The 9th house is the Sagittarius ruled areas of life. So it's about expansion, higher learning, foreign travel, and our beliefs. So for you Aquarians, you guys are releasing, there could be people who are literally foreigners in your life where that relationship is coming to a completion point. That could be a lover or a friend or a business partner that's from a different country than you, that you're kind of releasing that relationship. This is also a major illumination around your beliefs and why you believe in what you believe. And the 9th house can rule religions, religious institutions. And I've been noticing with a lot of my Aquarian sun, moon, and rising clients that a lot of you guys are healing with this eclipse season around religious institutions or even cults that you've been a part of at some point in life. So important for you guys to be reflecting on why you believe what you believe. Some of you may be foreign traveling at this time or spending more time traveling over the next 6-month period with this eclipse in your 9th house. It is definitely a big time of expansion for you. And last but not least, for my Pisces sun, moon, and risings, this full moon eclipse is happening in your 8th house. So remember Pisces, I said all the water signs, so the Cancers, Scorpios, Pisces are kind of having the most intense eclipse seasons other than the Aries and the Libra, because you're having the eclipse in a water house. So the 8th house is the house of Scorpio. And Scorpio rules death, rebirth, transformation, and the hidden side of life. So there can be things, Pisces, coming up for you that have been in the shadows. This is a time of shadow work. This would be great for you, Pisces, to be doing shadow work, really facing, I don't know why, I'm just intuitively feeling to say your inner saboteur, the inner parts of yourself and your psyche that may be toxic or attached to negative patterns that don't serve you. Eighth house of Scorpio is about transformation and healing. So this is an amazing time to be doing any kind of healing work. In particular, I would suggest shadow work for sure. And you are going through a big rebirth period where the eighth house also rules psychic abilities and the occult and the mysteries of life. So you Pisces can be maybe more drawn than usual to the mysterious side of life, the paranormal. There's a lot that is being revealed to the Pisces at this time, which at sometimes can be intense. Eighth house of Scorpio is the most intense freaking house. So just be gentle to yourself. And similar to what I was saying for the Scorpios, if you need to ask for help from a friend or a healing professional, because this could be some really intense things and transformations coming up for you at this time. So I hope that resonated with you guys. Let me know. Vianne says, Meg, I love the way you do your show. That's very sweet of you. Thank you for saying that. I love doing these Beyond Astros, and I love that I'm now doing them live because it's so much fun to be live here with you guys, sharing the astrology. And of course, the replay is available afterwards as well. Last astrological thing that I wanted to share for the week. Oh, two things actually. Number one, we've got severe geomagnetic storms that are impacting the Earth. Started yesterday, and I think it's going to be going into this week. So as if it's not enough that we are in an eclipse season, we've also got solar flare geomagnetic storms. So when we have this going on, you guys, we need to be really taking care of our physical bodies because we are going through DNA activations. There can be ascension symptoms going on. So just making sure you're drinking really good water, eating nutritious food, doing proper grounding, okay? Because this is intense. It's not just eclipses, it's also solar flares and geomagnetic storms. And yeah, the other thing I wanted to share as well is on March 28th, which, what day of the week is that? I think that's Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, March 28th, we're going to have Venus in an exact sextile to Uranus. And this is a really fun, exciting, positive aspect. Sextile is the best aspect in Western astrology. And Venus is the ruler of Libra, where the full moon lunar eclipse is happening in, where the south node is in sextile to Uranus. So I feel like today, tomorrow, Wednesday can be really intense energies. I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of breakups that are going to be happening at this time. There's a lot of divorces that are going to be happening at this time. There's a lot of up-leveling in committed relationships. You know, not every relationship is toxic and we need to release, but there's changes going on in our commitments, right? And with this beautiful Venus sextile Uranus on March 28th, it's going to be exact. Uranus is about the future and innovation and creative inspiration. In sextile to Venus, which is love and our commitments. So I feel like there can be some very positive developments for us happening on March 28th. We can feel the energy lighter that day, even though the moon will be in Scorpio, which is really, really intense. It's a very positive aspect for new values, new developments, and how to move forward in love, committed relationship. And also new ways of aesthetic. We can be inspired to do new trends or fashion. There could be some totally new fashion trend in the collective that comes out, gets invented, gets shared actually on that day or this week. So that'll be very interesting to see. Also a good aspect for friendships, group meetings, and networking as well. So yeah, before I finish up, I'm going to pull some cards for us. And I'm going to pull from my Lenormand cards for us for this week as we have the eclipses, as we have the last week of all planets direct, geomagnetic storms, Venus sextile Uranus. Wow, it's a lot going on. What is our guidance for this week for our highest good from the universe? Woo! Okay. So you guys that have watched me before know that I love my Lenormand cards. They're so accurate every single time. And it's not a hard divination system to start learning and incorporating into your practice. So we've got the diviner, we've got the woman, and we've got the anchor. Okay, when the diviner shows up, this is the card of signs, synchronicities, omens, mediumship, our spirit guides, that the veils are thin, which I said earlier. Look at it, how in the card it's a person with two spirit guides behind them. It's a really good time to literally be doing cards, getting readings, doing any kind of spiritual practices for clarity, to be connecting to our ancestors, to be connecting to our guides. Pay attention to, I'm hearing Spirit say, the omens that are around you, the signs that are around you, because the veils are very thin. And we are being supported spiritually big time in stepping into healthier boundaries, stability. This is the anchor card. In healing our divine feminine. Libra, the sign that the eclipse is in, is one of the feminine signs in astrology, right? And one of the negatives of the feminine is that, or one of the shadow sides of the feminine when it's unbalanced, is having a totally open field and not having strong boundaries, right? Totally giving ourselves away to others and not being balanced in our masculine feminine. So I feel this is very much a week about also healing the feminine side, paying attention to our boundaries and the magical signs and synchronicities that are all around. I know for me, I've been having some really cool synchronicities coming up. I love synchronicities. They're very, very fun. So that's what we got from the Lenormand. And I'm also going to pull a bonus Trust Your Vibes card, because it is a lot of energy for us right now. And this Trust Your Vibes deck, which was actually the first oracle deck I ever got, I love this one so much, has really good practical ways of dealing with being a sixth sensory person, being a highly sensitive empath, which I think a lot of us are if you're watching this video probably. So universe, what is our Trust Your Vibes message for this week? I love this card, Time for Crayons. This is a card all about lightness, fun, not taking things too seriously, and creativity also. So that doing creative practices, dancing, singing, drawing, the arts can help us to navigate and move through some of these really intense energies for the week. And when was the last time you ever used crayons? You know, for me, that's not been since I was a kid. So maybe get some crayons out and do some drawing and just see what comes up. And that could reveal something as well. Or get anything, you know, whether it's colored pencils or markers, just draw and see what comes out. And I feel like that can be really healing, but also reveal something to us as well. So yeah, if you've gotten this far in the weekly forecast, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Before we finish up, again, just want to say, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube and Rumble channels. And also, I am currently offering personal astrological consultations that are available at consultations.beyondmystic.net. The link is in the description box below. And we've got the 10% off promo code Beyond Mystic, all in one word, that you can use if you'd like to have a reading with me. So yeah, I love you guys very, very much. Sending so much cosmic love your way. Have the most magical full moon eclipse ever, eclipse week. And I will see you guys next Monday for the next Beyond Astro Weekly Forecast. Mwah. Bye, everybody.